everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome one and all to episode 173 of In Focus Friday, the show where we take a good close look at cool things made of silver or gold. Last week it was the turn of the Royal Arms in both silver and gold. Very cool pieces and incredibly well received in last week's episode. If you've not checked that video out, there's a link as always down in the description. Now, as you can see, this week is a Christmas themed episode of In Focus Friday. Thank you all for voting for the Christmas themed rounds. It makes my life a lot easier, as these are not the most appropriate rounds to feature at a time of year that is not Christmas. If you voted for the Harp from Monster Rat, the Redback Spider, they will be returning with 2 new additional coins for you to cast your eye and indeed your vote on what we will feature for the first time in 2020 here on In Focus Friday. So stick around to the end of today's episode. So, season's greetings and happy holidays. Those words are very appropriate this time of year, and as I said, I'm very glad that you all voted for these because they are not necessarily the most appropriate pieces to feature at a different time of year, as they are Christmas themed. And that's going to be one of my small little niggles about these particular pieces and Christmas themed silver in general. I don't want to be overly negative though, because it is the time of year to be jolly, and these are ultimately really happy pieces of silver that are gift giving articles. You know, they are perfect for gift giving. In fact, a lot of the reviews that you see on the different bullion dealers' websites are from customers who say that they pick them up for stocking stuffers or gifts for family. You know, they make really good gifts, and there's no doubting that whatsoever. The only criticism I will have is that ultimately they are just kind of generic silver rounds, and there are some dealers out there, I'm not going to name names, but I've had a quick look around doing some research on these particular rounds, and there are some out there that are pretty kind of gouging the price of them. You know, there are some dealers who are looking for $25, $26 per round for these, where there are some major dealers looking for only, you know, sort of $18, $19 a round for bulk. So, you know, a lot better prices if you shop around. That's my only niggles, and I'll get those out of the way now. What is very cool about these though is that they're very happy and jolly. Now, here in the UK right now, we're experiencing an incredibly warm and mild winter. There's no sign of snow or snowmen here, and you can see the sun blazing through our window. It makes great filming conditions, but it's not very Christmassy, and the chance, well, that we didn't have a white Christmas here, and the chance of it snowing anytime soon is pretty low. That said, we seem to have had big deep chills here in the UK later and later into sort of January and February, so maybe that will still come at some point. But this is no doubting, and by the way, don't worry about me handling these with my bare hands. Ultimately, they are just generic silver rounds, and they're quite fun to have. And that's one of the cool things about them, because they're not necessarily going to have huge premiums on them. You know, if they're gifted as gifts, they can just be enjoyed, touched, held, played with. You know, kids can use them as tokens for their games, or, you know, I just think that they're fantastic for those kind of purposes. They really are. And if anything, when you get the sort of matte finish after having handled them and getting all your fingerprints and finger oils on them, they look actually quite cool with the matte finish there. Almost looks kind of a frosty window background as you're looking out through the window. So I do think they're pretty cool. I'd love to see them antiqued, actually. I think that would look really very interesting with the detail on the snowflakes, and perhaps here as well on the snowmen with all of the little lines. I think those would look very, very cool indeed. Maybe that's something to think about next year. Now, in terms of the Christmas themed bullion side of things, I don't really hold too much stock in them, and we did a few Christmas themed pieces last year, not this year at all actually. If we did any Christmas pieces, it was for specific people's requests, and that's part of the problem with Christmas themed sort of silver in terms of should you go and stack these as an investment? Well, my argument would be no, because any other time of year other than Christmas, they're going to be almost impossible to shift to any form of premium, and they're just there as generics really. So there's definitely things to think about in terms of them being an investment, but as a jolly piece of silver to enjoy, to have, to hold at the holiday period and to gift away at Christmas, they're brilliant, they're fantastic, and I really, really enjoy them. And I have to say, these do look very cool when there's loads of them out here all together. If you have the means and the ways to get a bunch of them, then yeah, they make fantastic rolls of silver to have. And again, if you can get them at decent prices over spot price, then there's no harm in them at all. These particular ones that I have here, I didn't necessarily buy as Christmas rounds. I bought them as what I call melters. So these will be going into the hand-poured silver at some point in 2020. These were just the kind of generic silver coins, silver rounds that come from the European Mint for some of my melting. So yeah, I'm not holding any kind of, hard feelings to them, but they will be melted for me, and that's just the way it is sometimes. In terms of just general gift giving at Christmas. I've done a whole video on that this last week, so I'm not really going to talk too much about them in that sense of it, but they do make fantastic gifts, and I think that they would be very well received for a lot of people out there, so definitely something to factor in. Now, in terms of other designs of these, there are lots and lots of them out there. I don't have any to share with you because I thought, in fact, when I had them all out on the table last week, I think it was because I had the season's greeting on one side and the snowman on the other, I did think that there were different designs that we had available to showcase here today, but unfortunately I've just got all the same designs. But the Highland Mint, who makes these, have a whole host of different designs of them. There are some with Father Christmas, there's some with, of course, the snowmen here, but there's also I believe some with just different snowflake designs and things like that. They've been making them, the Highland Mint, for a very, very long time, and there's one I think with a really kind of giant big snowman on it. Really very cool pieces indeed in that sense, and they are potentially a little bit collectible. There are loads of different other mints that make them. Silvertown Mint makes a Christmas themed round, and all others as well. So there's loads of different options out there, and if that's something for you, then you can enjoy them. I haven't seen them in any other sizes other than the 1 ounce. So these are of course 1 ounce of silver, as you can see, 1 tri-ounce of silver. Now, for us here in the UK, these are often, they're often a bit of a double-edged sword. They're fantastic for us to get as gifts to give, but they often come at quite high prices and premiums, because if you buy them from any dealers here in the UK, then not being a coin makes them taxable and vatable. So you often even can't buy them at a decent price from European dealers, which I think is always a bit of a shame. So for us, it's not always practical. And any of the Christmas themed other pieces, you don't tend to see Christmas themed coins because of the reasons I've said. They're not very practical to spend, to buy or sell at any other time of the year, which is, I think, a bit of a shame. So we are missing a little bit of this market here in the UK, but generally I think they're a pretty cool thing. So let me know your thoughts on the Christmas themed rounds down in the comment section. It'd be cool to see if you've got some of these, if you've got the 2019s, if you've got the different designs. Do you collect them every year? Do you gift them away every year as well? That would be interesting to find out from all of you. Otherwise, that's it from the Christmas season, or I say Christmas season, the Christmas themed, I was reading Season's Greeting, the Christmas themed silver rounds here. Let's crack on now with what's coming up in 2020. So, a little bit of an update, I suppose, on In Focus Friday as well. First, let's show you what we've got as options for next week's episode. We've got the harp from Montserrat, which is very interesting. It's got a kind of Queen's head wreath on the other side. We've got the red back spider, which is a really popular one. It's getting a lot of votes at the moment, but it hasn't quite won all the way through. The next one we've got is a Democratic Republic of the Congo giraffe, which is an interesting one. It's going along these African themes, put that in the light so we can really showcase it. Going along the theme of kind of the, like the Rwandan coins with the Rwandan animal series, but this one is the Democratic Republic of Congo with a bit of a different look and feel to it. And then the last one, we've got 4 to vote on this week, is a Celtic themed animal coin. That one is going to look really cool up close to the camera because there's loads of different Celtic wavy form designs within the actual design of the animal. So let me know your thoughts on what you want to see next week, one of these 4. Please do vote down in the comment section. Now, generally going forward into 2020, I want to tell you all that In Focus Friday will be one of the priorities going forward in terms of our video scheduling. It's one of the longest running kind of video bits I've been doing here on YouTube. We originally started this as a kind of way to have a weekly regular video, because consistency in your video uploads and showcasing of different things is really important here on YouTube if you want to grow. So we are going to continue with that. And in terms of the content of what we're going to showcase here, we will be continuing to showcase cool pieces. There will be every now and again sponsored episodes where we've got different pieces from different mints out there. So if you are a rising budding mint or an established mint and you've got something that you think would fit here on In Focus Friday for us to look at and see, then please feel free to get in touch. And I'm really looking forward to the rest of 2020, although I say the rest of, we haven't even got there yet. Really looking forward to 2020 with regards some of the different coin releases that are coming up. There's going to be a lot of very interesting pieces to showcase, so I hope to be able to bring you as many as possible. Well, in fact, we're going to be showing you 52 minimum new pieces next year as we try to do these every week, and we're on for a record-breaking target every time we do one of these because we've never missed a single week. We've done 173 consecutive weeks now of In Focus Friday, so the big 200 is coming up. So any suggestions that you guys have got for what we could showcase at a big 200 special episode, that would be very, very cool to hear from you. Otherwise, that is it from today. If you've enjoyed today's video and showcase of these Season's Greetings silver rounds, then please do let me know by hitting the thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see future episodes of In Focus Friday, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see any of the other 172 episodes that we've filmed, there's a playlist down below. Otherwise, that's it from today. Thank you very much for watching. We wish you all a very, very happy new year ahead. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.